Oh, that just muted it really fast. None of that fade out stuff. Okay, folks. Remove the banner, and we're live. Welcome, folks. Howdy, wild cards. It's Tuesday, and we're streaming early. And Donald and I are gonna walk you guys through the necessary evil. Man, is it Friday yet? Can it be Friday, please?
That's basically Friday for me.
I know you're out of town, man. Good gracious, what are we gonna do without you in the office? Like I'll have to actually do work and stuff. That will be not good. So the game changer is going awesome. Let's check in on that. We are over 60,000, and we still don't have the number of backers up. I'm sorry, folks, but there's quite a few of you who have joined in the game changer, and I think the big first question is the right one. Is this an update or a new game entirely? Well, Donald, what is it?
So it is the easy answer to that question is yes. The helpful answer to that question is that Necessary Evil is we've got a couple of different options for folks. If you're a returning fan and you just want to get the new stuff, then you're just going to want to pick up Necessary Evil 3 Cosmic Crisis, which is the latest installment in the trials and tribulations of the villains who are forced to do good sometimes, which includes some new battle maps, a new poster map, as well as a new pawn set. So you've got a bunch of different things to really kind of up your game. And if you want to run your players through Necessary Evil 1 Invasion or Necessary Evil 2 Breakout, and either have some new players who didn't play the original versions come and play the Suede version, or if you haven't played it at all and you want to jump in from the very beginning, you can grab Necessary Evil 1 through 3. It's all updated for Suede, and it is going to be very fun. People are, you can ask anybody that's been in the community for a while. Necessary Evil is one of our favorite settings. It is really fun to play. The whole team did a great job with it. And Cosmic Crisis is just, taking what was already some good, super powered villain awesomeness and bringing it literally to the next power level. So, for folks that don't know, if you're following release order, which there's, always contention is should you go with release order or chronological order, right? Which version?
And like every good
Do you
comic
watch the machete
property,
cut?
we mix them around. So.
But it starts off with Necessary Evil Invasion, where all of the heroes, well, knock on wood, all of the heroes on Earth are wiped out by an invading alien race called the Visori after using their shark warrior kind of peon type shock troopers to trick them into thinking that they were actually their allies. They all get wiped out, and the Visori take over Earth. And you play as some supervillains who realize, well, crap, if the aliens are in charge of everything, then what happens to my plans for world domination? And then we roll back the clock when we drop into Necessary Evil 2 Breakout, where we go from the 4-color power level, if you're familiar with the SPC, the power level 2. We come back to power level 1 and tell the story of some villains trapped in the prison dome that surrounds New York, and that they are trying to escape. And generally speaking, most folks, I think, tend to run it as different groups playing, right? But if you want to kind of go from the beginning all the way through, then you can start with Necessary Evil 2 Breakout and start with those folks at the street level, power level 1 in the Superpowers Companion. It's also a great way to get somebody introduced to the Superpowers rules because there's less points, so there's less things to worry about right off the bat. And then you go into then once they break out, it's Necessary Evil Invasion. And then once they've had a bunch of time to grow their powers and end up in a super powered prison, get called to go and deal with a villain that is even nastier than they are.
Yeah, and there's some great throwbacks too. So J.M. DeFoe wrote the GM Screen Adventure for Cosmic Crisis, and that brings back one of several cosmic level baddies. And as it says in the description, spoilers, folks, the omnipotent outsider is one of the first that you have to fight. And we're not giving spoilers on the other kind of awesome things that are going on. But there's a whole lot going on in Cosmic Crisis. It is a wonderful campaign. These are all over 100-page books, right?
Yes.
Um, so a lot of great stuff is jam packed in there. So there's two updates. You can get the update to 1 and 2, which is Invasion and Breakout, all in suede, all in hardback, and then Cosmic Crisis is all new, and then there's much of like because these are Kickstarters or crowdfunders, it would be we would be remiss if we didn't throw in some awesome extras. So one of the cool things that you might have noticed we didn't actually unlock during the Ghost Mountain campaign, but we really wanted to. So we kept digging and trying to find a way to make these happen. So these lovely conviction tokens.
Yes, and if like our other conviction token sets, right, they're really hefty metal. They're a lot of fun to use, to throw down on the table when you spend that conviction. Remember to keep some bennies in play for your conviction tokens so you can keep that running more than a single round.
And if you're a big spender, you can buy multiple sets of these and use them like bennies. You'll need at least, I know, I have like 20, 30 bennies in my table. So, but they're, that lovely clicky clacky noise.
So, like showing off the holler ones, which are also gorgeous.
Right. And they're nice and thick. And so we are looking, or Simon, I should say, the royal we, someone in the company, usually Simon, is looking into actually having, at least they'll be, deep cut and enameled, but we're looking to have them like punched all the way through.
Yes.
So you could actually see through on that pinnacle star. So that's a great add-on. And you can, even if you're not a Supers fan, but I mean, come on, we've got the Superpower Companion and these 3 great campaigns where you get to play villains. Awesome. But even if you're not, you can go to the campaign page right now. And actually, I'll throw a link in because I've been remiss. I have not thrown the actual link to the campaign in. That would be smart if we are talking about stuff to allow you guys to, let's see, I think I need to go to all now. Let's see, there we go. But you can pick up these if you want some conviction coins with your pledge, or even without a main level pledge, you can grab these conviction coins and as many as you want. But they come in groups of 5, and they're nice and hefty and metallic and lovely. And but they're not the only add-on. So the link is in the chat now. I'll throw that up on screen so you guys can see. But it is at Peg Inc. If you are just perusing Peg Inc., there's a title bar at the top of the page that you can see for our game changers on the right up here. And so from the home page, you can just click on Necessary Evil right there, and it'll bring you to the Necessary Evil page. And the pledge levels are in the first list. They're in the yellow. You can get in for just $15. So just $15. You can get you the digital for the new book, Cosmic Crisis.
So something to help folks when they're looking. You'll notice that somebody very cleverly has used the 4 colors of 4-color comics for the title bars. But the color bars match, right? So if you just want the basic book, if you want print or digital, you're going to want to look at the 2 yellow bars, right? If you want to add in all of basically everything new in the campaign, so the GM screen adventure, the battle map that is going to have 2 different cosmic encounters on it, as well as the poster map, the archetype cards, and the pawns, which is a lot, but it is everything you need to go and, well, everything except one thing. You need to go and run a really premium, really show up for your players and wow them with Necessary Evil. That is in the, I forget what the name is off the top of my head. The bundle, the Cosmic Crisis bundle. But the black bars are that. So if you're looking for that, one of the black bars, one of them's digital, one of them is print. And then, come on, folks, let's not kid around here, right? If you're gonna back and get the box set, it is another chunky box set. We pack these things to the brim. Simon always has to do a lot of work to figure out how we're going to fit everything in the box. So you get 3 hardcover books, all over 100 pages. You get the archetype cards, which come in a little, I'm going to mess up the term. The tuck box is the one that has a
telescoping.
No. Isn't that a tuck box?
No, not tuck. So tuck's the one that's got the lip on it, and you have to pull it out and it tears. So these are telescoping.
This is Simon's department.
Yeah, definitely telescoping. The
Uh, but in the archetype cards, you get the dope dice, you get the action deck, and you're going to get everything that I listed above.
right,
And
and we
then,
heard you like boxes, so we put some boxes in your
yes,
box. So in previous campaigns, there were boxes outside of the box set, but this one you get the archetype cards as a separate box. The archetype cards can go in the archetype card box, and then there is also an awesome, and it's being obscured by some dice right here. There is the Necessary Evil extra bonus box, which has the magnetic closure on it. So super
yes.
satisfying. Like you
I,
can
once again, I'm not Simon, so I don't have literally an entire house made of the white boxes that we can show you folks. But we've got a set that was for the Hell in the High Plains campaign, which maybe folks are going to start hearing some stuff about some Hell in the High Plains news soon.
Yeah. So, spoiler, it's in the warehouse. And so it's not going to be shipping out tomorrow because they need some time to start organizing the thousands of orders. But it's in the warehouse. So that is awesome news. So we are on track we thought late May, early June for that. And we're thinking it's not going to be June. We're thinking it's going to be in May. And, it does
Knock on
take,
wood.
right? Um, but so it's in hand. So
Yes.
it's cleared customs. It survived the boat. It didn't get destroyed in like the inclement weather. All the other problems of the last 2 years of craziness. It's in the warehouse, and so as soon as we get pictures of the boxes in the warehouse, we will send those to you guys because you like seeing boxes of boxes in boxes, and it's all good fun.
Yep.
But so yeah, so Hell in the High Plains, it is arriving imminently. So last chance on Hell in the High Plains. If you are going to update your orders for that, do it now. If you want
Yes.
to add anything, make sure if you add anything, it's another crowdfunding campaign, it'll delay it. So if you add current products is available, they'll still ship out with Hell in the High Plains. But that is imminent, folks. So that's very
And I
exciting.
I also want to point something else out about the box set pledge tier, right? So I think if you scroll up, we can show the price, which is at 175. All of those slashes are what it is at retail a la carte. Because for the price of what the box set will be by itself, not only do you get the box set, but you're getting the map pack, which is outside the box set, the conviction tokens, which is outside the box set, and that magnetic flap box that we were just talking about. Those are not in the individual box set. So keep that in mind for right? That's the best value you can get is getting the box set right now because you get those extra goodies. And if you're one of those folks that maybe you're buying as a gift for somebody else and you want to throw on a couple extra copies of just the box set, keep in mind that those three items, the Cosmic Battle Map, the Conviction Tokens, and the card box, are outside of it.
So yes, it is jam packed full of value. So yeah, 220 is just what it would be individually. Not even more
Yes.
than it's going to be at retail because by the time we get this fulfilled and send it to retail, it will be even pricier, almost guaranteed. Nothing's getting cheaper. So the 175 is the best way to keep that below the 200 mark. And we're really, it's 3 books, and so it's kind of a great value. That's a whole lot of campaigning if you really
Yeah.
want to go whole hog in supers. You pick up the superpower companion and you pick up Necessary Evil, and you can play multiple campaigns, multiple levels, really test out all of the kind of wonderful development that's gone into Suede and supers, and do all the power stunts and all the fun stuff you really get to do only in supers. So it's we're really glad to be able to bring this much value still. And plus, look at those bennies. The bennies are really good. A lot. I mean, that's the thing on the art too. So we're not just updating the rules for 1 and 2. 90+% of the art. I mean, we kept like the best pieces, but a lot of it we redid just because a lot has changed in the 2 decades that this has been a Pinnacle IP, and so we like hiring our artists and getting the newest art done for our pawns because the pawns are awesome, and so there's a whole new art. So even if you are a veteran supers player and you have run through what was Necessarily Evil 1 and 2, and which now we're calling Invasion and Breakout. It'll be all new art, all new experience. The pawns are a new thing you can bring to your table. So We hope you guys are going to fall in love with it again if you've already been a Necessary Evil fan. So it's a great way to pick up all the goodies for 1 and 2 as well, and not just pick up 3. So.
All right, I see we have some
Oh yeah, let's
questions.
get back.
So I'm going to start with YouTube because I guess I could also look in what order they were in over here. But I see that the
Let's see. Ooh, yes. Okay, so battle map, definite hotness, and let's see.
as new playable races, you're going out into deep space, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you're going to encounter. Something like the Chug, right, which are the canine humanoids, the Halion, which are they've got a bit of a reputation for playing nice with the Stygians. The I don't actually know how it's pronounced. I think it's Yardermen or Jadarmen. I don't think I've actually heard anybody ever say it out loud. Uh, there's the Katak machines. There's a lot. So if you want the full list, I would say I'm pretty sure there was a earlier stream with Daryl, who is one of the authors, who knows a lot more than me. I just work here, and so yeah, there's a bunch of new options now that you're going into deep space for players to use. I saw Blend4 asked, "Is Necessary Evil Invasion still set in 2001?" And yes, it is. It all started in 2001, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be an interesting experience, especially if you have some younger players at your table. It's as a slight aside, it was interesting watching The Glass Onion and already having a 2020 period piece in 2023. So you get to you
I
get
know,
to
right?
have all the pain and all the things that you remember being when you were young, depending on your age.
Oh, and you're such a youngin' too. Like it just gets worse. So, like,
Yeah,
someone pointed out that the original Back to the Future movies, which was from the 50s to the 80s, which I will contend there was a lot more cultural shift from the 50s to the 80s than there was from the 90s to today. I think
yeah,
you could wear 90s clothes today and not look so out of place. But that's the same time difference, and it's just like really we're if they made that movie today, they'd be going back to the 90s, and it just feels like, oh god, that makes me old. So sad tear. The Let's see, any changes? So yes, Azure Beast. Mid campaign, we opened up the add-ons. So if you want to grab extra copies of the conviction coins, or you want more of the card decks, or you want to build your own bespoke kind of box set experience. Like let's say you want everything but not the map or whatever it is. You can do that now. So almost everything is really is available as an add-on. So that is a big change since the beginning. So you can go and you can upgrade to do more stuff or less stuff, whatever your choice is. That's the big change. We didn't do stretch goals. I mean, kind of all the value is really already packed in. We unlocked everything. Like we had the conviction coins as a stretch goal in a previous
yep,
campaign. We're just like, let's not risk not unlocking it, or let's make sure that this is an easy kind of what are we calling them, booster campaign, where it's
yeah.
everything is from the beginning. Don't have to worry about stretch goals. And
It also makes it a lot easier on the production side because what ends up happening is when you have stretch goals, those are all things, depending on the stretch goal, that adds more time to the tail end of the project. So it takes us longer to get you the initial PDFs, which means it takes longer to get the feedback, which means it takes longer to get to the printer. So having everything on offer at the beginning and knowing what we're getting into makes it so that we can have a much faster turnaround time. And so I also saw Azurbeast 10 also asked about a pledge tier for just the physical books. Well, so the best way if you just want the books and not the box set is you're going to pledge at the just the book tier, right? So that's going to be the one that starts with 2, right? We also kind of, on the back of the successful Pine Box Horror Companion campaign, we started putting numbers in them because it makes it a little easier when you're talking about them. So pledge tier number 2, and then you can add on Necessary Evil Invasion and Necessary Evil Breakout, and you will have all the books in print. We've got a lot of customization that you can do with your pledges, but we also can't do 1,000 types of pledges, which is why we have the add-ons available for folks to grab right now.
yes, and pawns. Everyone loves the pawns. Pawns are the best. So don't get just the books. If you do want the pawns, I think you do. The let's see, is there enough information to run my own The Boys or Invincible campaign? You could totally, yes, 100%. Uh, the one caveat is just that the Boys and Invincible are they're set a little more modern, but there's not other than
Well, so I will interject and say the superpowers companion, which is what drives Necessary Evil, right? You need the superpower companion to play Necessary Evil. uh, we've got an entire section that talks about, and I think both of those examples of The Boys and Invincible, there's a section that talks about what kind of superhero game do you want to run, and it's got lists of examples of kinds of games and what rules to use from the SPC and from Suede to achieve that. And personally, I find, as a 28-year-old with a job and a wife and four cats and a whole bunch of things that I need to manage all the time, having a full-on campaign box set adventure that I can then just reskin to, so if you want to do Necessary Evil, but it's The Boys or it's Invincible, it's a lot easier to take a campaign book and change the names and change the order of events and the locations and change the bad guys than it is to just come up with that whole cloth. And so I highly recommend, if you want to do that, grab the SPC. If you don't already have a copy of Suede, make sure you have Suede because everything drives off of Suede. That's kind of like having a car with no engines if you grab SPC and Necessary Evil, and then just go through and edit stuff, and it's going to save you a lot of time.
right, and that's the thing too is even if you're not going to play the campaigns, the archetype cards from Necessary Evil are super villain packed. So if
Yes.
you do want to do, the Boys or Invincible, where those are a little more super villainy. Let's just be honest on kind of how those characters would be built. Those archetype cards will just come in super handy because that's kind of the theme. And yeah, right. I mean, a lot of folks this will be. I mean, I think a 20-year plus anniversary for the original Necessary Evil campaign coming out, and so yes, I mean there are a lot of fans who will love revisiting this for the first time, playing it for your kids or your cats, either one. I mean, cats kind of would be the perfect supervillain character, even though they don't know they're playing an actual tabletop game, like just swatting at the pawns on your table. Yeah, that would work. That would work.
I don't have any four-legged girls to grab that are in arm's reach. They know better than to be around me when I'm on a stream because they always get picked up and shown off.
Right. No, Dad, you're embarrassing me. The so yes, the power levels are not fantastically redone. There is more information because obviously we're now post Suede superpower companion, so there is more current updates on like what powers and kind of how to run those. But no, we did not go back and radically change the actual level for the invasion and breakout. So as Don mentioned earlier, there's the
I,
street
oh,
level.
and I told you the wrong numbers, right? It's Necessary Evil Invasion is 4-color, which is power level 3, not 2, like I said. I was off by 1, and then Breakout is street level, which is power level 2.
Yes.
And in both of the books, all three of the books, there's a section at the start that says, hey, what optional setting rules should you be using when you're running Necessary Evil? What power level? It's all there, so you've got everything that you need to be able to go ahead and run right away.
Right. And like I love the fact that there's multiple art. If you've been watching the campaign, we've shown off multiple art about people getting smacked in the face. It's very satisfying. The Outsider is kind of the gorgeous cover that we're using for the adventure, and so that's a lot of fun. And Tommy, sir, yes, the original Invasion. I mean, it is fantastic work. It is awesome that Clint is still around, making great stuff and contributing, and the Necessary Evil 3 did go through the block edit, although Daryl did take lead on designing it. So Clint's paw prints are still on it, and let's see.
I see a question from Feargrounds. Are the pawns different than the ones that came with the SPC? Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes.
Yeah, we reused some art, I think, just because.
Well, so don't forget that the original SPC pawn set we unlocked as a stretch goal Visori pawns, right? So your SPC pawns will be super useful for Necessary Evil, and your Necessary Evil pawns will be super useful for your SPC games.
Yes, all in the family though. So yes, yeah, yeah, you're not at risk of duplicating anything that you've already bought for the SBC again, unless you go to the SBC campaign. But yes, we're not double dipping on the numbers. This is new, all new stuff. I mean, all new in the sense that the first two books are being revised and updated this
Yeah.
way. But yes, the pawns and the cards are new. Um,
I also
the
see Kitsune Sarimiki says Tales of the Doomguard is also good for Super's adventures. I especially am a fan of the street level adventure.
I wonder
Uh,
because someone wrote it.
yeah,
I don't know who did that.
I just heard that that author is really smart and handsome and clever and witty. So go and
And
check
Polish
out Bizarre
this
Alliances.
time. Nice. The right. The I see it.
Also, I see another question
Okay.
about VTT packages. So, like everything that we release, it's going to be at some point after the at some point after the campaign. The folks over at Digital Services will start working on it, but their production schedule is luckily desynced from ours, right? They work at their stuff at their rate, we work at our stuff at our rate, so that way your folks are getting everything as optimally as possible. So
Yeah,
it's
and
going to enter the production cycle.
yeah, that's going forward. I mean, like we did have VTT in some of our a year ago's Kickstarter campaigns, and then we just found out by trial and error that the one we are going to do VTT for everything. There is nothing that we have determined yet that is not going to end up on VTT. So that's an easy question. So the answer is always yes. We're not crowdfunding those at the same time. One, just because these are a couple months out, and you might be playing on a different VTT platform by then, and you have your choice when it comes out. And then two, it's important for us to close out campaigns, like especially for Kickstarter.
Yes.
You can't start another Kickstarter until you've delivered everything for the previous one. And the way VTT works is we only send in-house and for the people like Fantasy Grounds who do their own conversions of our material, our final
Yes.
InDesign and Photoshop and all that stuff after it is all the stages from the printer, all any little corrections, any of that stuff, because it's so much more cost prohibitive to go back and change one little thing than it is to be like, this is published. It might not be final, but it's published, and the published version is what goes out. And so they can't start until that happens, and we are almost ready to deliver physical goods by the time that happens. So we just didn't want to leave campaigns open and unfulfilled for something that we can't control, and it's it makes more sense to kind of keep them separate. So the answer for everything is yes. VTT will happen for all of our stuff. We are tripling down on VTT. They are the group Sigil Services. They are working as much on our back catalog as they are going forward. All that good stuff. So yes, all of the above will be on VTT. We're just not including it during the crowdfunding portion. So let's see.
So while folks are asking more questions, we should also just go through real quick the whole list of add-ons
Oh
and
yeah,
just
I
talk
mean,
about each of them briefly, so folks, because get a little more in depth than we went on the reward tiers.
let's go back. So someone did notice the CMYK in the comments.
Okay,
So
good.
you get a Benny, sir, inspiration, conviction, even. But yeah, so on the add-ons, there it is, CMYK right there.
Yep.
Very good.
So yeah, the box set, it's as I said, it's going to be everything that is in the box set pledge tier minus a few items. So just so that everybody is 100% on what's in the box set. So you get Necessary Evil Invasion revised. You get Necessary Evil Breakout revised. You get Cosmic Crisis. You get the set of 18 archetype cards. You get the poster map, which on one side it's the 11 by 17 poster map. It's the Star City on one side, and then the Promise, which is the ship that you will be using in Cosmic Crisis. You have the pawn set. You have the GM screen plus the 32-page GM screen adventure that JM wrote. You get the 7 dice and the wild die, right? So you're going to end up with 2 d6s in that set, the 25 bennies, and the action deck.
That's a lot of stuff. But there's more if you get the pledge level, guys.
Yes,
So
you get
just
3 extra things basically for free.
right. It's
It's I
good.
mean it's the same price as it would to get individually just the box set.
Right. Yes.
So Necessary Evil Invasion, which is currently clocking in at 128 pages. It's a hardcover book. When you get down to Breakout, it's currently at 104. And then, do I have a number for Cosmic Crisis? Yes, 128 pages. So it's a lot of book to read through and use. It'll definitely keep your group occupied for a fair while for a campaign. The archetype cards, which I think are nope, I put the conviction tokens next. So the conviction tokens, it's the set of 5. It's this about the same thickness, and it's a circle, just like the other ones. We didn't make square tokens, and they're wonderful for using as conviction. They stand out quite well against the bennies. What did I put next on the list? The pawns, right? So you're going to have pawns that correlate with characters from the 3 campaigns from Necessary Evil, the archetype cards, as well as groups of minions. You have the polyhedral dice set, which on the 6 for your wild die has the star logo of the outsider. Looks real nice. It's a nice, beautiful orange. Stands in contrast to the cosmic purple. You might notice a theme with the Cosmic Crisis's cover and the treatment there, which is just a wonderful job done by Aaron over at Sigil
Yeah, Martha Stewart
Entertainment.
would be proud at the coordination we've got going on.
Then the set of 25 bennies, so it's going to be the oh, I can't see on the screen. You've got the art featuring the covers, as well as some interior illustrations, as well as the alternate cover, which is that bottom right one, which is the art that is used on the magnetic box.
That's an awesome Aaron Riley piece.
Yes.
So good. So good. Yes, and this is also Aaron Riley. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
And then next is that telescoping card box. So it's Savage Worlds, right? There are a lot of different cards that you can throw in. You can put your archetype cards, you can put your action deck, you could put both, right? You can throw in and merge your SPC and your Necessary Evil boxes all into one. It's really, listen, whatever you want to do, it's your box, right? Something I do is for convention play, I have a box and it's got the archetype cards and then the dice, and so it'll fit nicely that as well. I recommend putting. I got a little felt, not felt, like it's almost like insulation material that I put between, just because my dice are really sharp.
And you can also pop out your pawns and put your pawns and
Yes,
your bases in here too.
absolutely, which makes it easy to transport once you've popped them out. If you're a GM that doesn't run at your own house, which I know is true for many people, you can condense everything you need down for the session into the not telescopic, the magnetic flat box, and then that way you've got less to carry. It's one of the benefits of our graphic novel form factor is it's a lot easier to fit in a backpack.
Yeah. And I have been so OCD where, like, for Blood Drive, I actually put the pawns back in the sprue, which is just do not follow this OCD lead, please. But like,
Just
yeah,
pop them all out and throw it away right away. Throw the
right,
the frame out right away. Don't tempt yourself.
right, or just buy the box and you get a little cool little magnetic. So once the Blood Drive or the Hell on the High Plains order comes in, like I'm they're popped out, they're staying out, they're going in the awesome little magnetic box. So that is the cure for that disease.
Then we've got our action deck, which features art from various villains and heroes. You'll find a Necessary Evil on the face cards, as well as a great job. Aaron again did a great job with the background and the layout of the actual cards themselves. It looks a lot. I was gonna say it looks a lot of fun. It looks really nice.
Yeah, and these are the oversized cards too. So
Yes.
they're like 3.5 by 5, so they're easy to see at the table. They're great for initiative.
Yeah. The nice thicker card stock that we use. So that way they survive a lot better than a lot of other cards you can get.
And we fought for that card stock. That was one of the issues we've had. Like
Yes.
the first choice in card stock that we have been using became very scarce and unavailable. So we were like, we need something better. And so that's we know it's important.
And then, of course, the GM screen, which is the wonderful fold out GM screen. I do want to, especially for the pre-order, just because the GM screen and the adventure has multiple formats that you can grab it in. So you can get the print version, which is the fold out GM screen and the with the way you're sharing, the drop downs are not popping up, unfortunately.
Oh
But you've
no.
got the print version, which is both the physical print GM screen and the adventure, and then you can get as individual PDFs just the adventure or the GM screen inserts, which are great for if you're in a VTT laying out in the background, so you've got all the charts quick at hand, and also you can print out and put in the customizable GM screen, and so you can get it in kind of whatever combination you want. But just remember that you've got to be careful to get the format that you want, depending on if you want all digital, all print, just one or the other.
Yes, and the print plus PDF is the most inclusive, most expensive,
Yes.
but you get the print version as well. And the GM screens really make nice wall art or like shelf art
Yes.
too, because this one, if you kind of like I zoomed in a little bit before, but there are, I mean, a dozen characters on that, and it's just
I
kind of a
think if you
gorgeous, cool
scroll
scene.
up on the main page, I'm pretty sure we've got an image above. It's going to be in the section where it's talking about. Yeah, there we go. If you open that up, you can see it a lot bigger. And also, that's something to note. I don't think we've mentioned that, but should be every single image on the campaign page. You can click on it, open in a new tab or in a new window, and it's going to be a lot bigger, so that way you can see everything in a lot more detail. We've only got so much real estate on the website, but all the images are in fact larger and linked, so you can look at them, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at that.
I mean, totally not Batman, totally not Iron Man. Yeah, right. I love that piece of art. I mean, it's like the Holler is also one of the great ones where like it was the background was designed to be in the GM screen, and the artist just knocked it out of the park with this really kind of cool extended scene. And here you've got like a crash spaceship, the city's on fire in the background. It's the interaction of like the blast that goes all the way from the top left to the bottom right. Like it's good stuff. And then
Oh,
here's a tank.
John Dube makes a great point in the chat. If you are wanting to get into the campaign, but you don't have the funds right now, or you need to wait, because unlike, say, Kickstarter, you are charged the moment you put it in, and that way your shipping is up front and everything, so you don't have to, I personally like it that way as well, because when I look at my bank account, I know actually how much money I have instead of, backing something and then a few weeks later going, oh crap, where'd all my money? Oh, right, I backed on Kickstarter. But the order manager phase will be open until basically a month before we are ready to ship the print books. So if you back at any pledge tier now, you will be able to right until it ships, go in, upgrade your order, and go to a higher pledge tier or add on different pre-order items. Right. So say you back at, say you think to yourself, you know what, my group's already played Invasion, I just want to get just the book, and then later you think, actually, if I just get the whole box set, I've got some friends that didn't play in my original Necessary Evil game. You can upgrade your order, grab the new box set, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, and the one caveat is to lock in the crowdfunding exclusive shipping prices, which are better than any other price you're going to get later on. The make sure that if you're planning on upgrading later, you have your IRS refund comes in, or you want a couple more pay periods, whatever. Get a print, the cheapest print, or a print level
Yeah.
now, because if you get a digital level, it doesn't associate that with the shipping table. So grab something in print that'll associate the shipping table for this campaign with that order, and thus when you upgrade later, you'll also be able to keep that shipping table, which just the way global shipping is working, and if prices for shipping do amazingly go down between now and the campaign, we'll let you know, or
Yep.
we'll just won't charge you as much. Like, I mean, that's we'll figure it out, but the um, it doesn't look that way, right? Like that hasn't been the recent trend. Shipping has not gotten cheaper. So yeah, do lock that in by getting a print tier, not just a digital tier.
And
So
also, because it's on our website, you can add in anything from the website. So if you add on, do note, if you add on anything that is not a crowdfunding item, it will hold to ship until the last crowdfunding item in your order is ready to go. So for instance, I know we've had some folks who merged their Legend of Ghost Mountain order with their Necessary Evil order. So both of those are going to ship when Necessary Evil is going out. It's a great way. We highly recommend for international backers to merge crowdfunding orders like that because it's shipping one package is going to cost a lot less than multiple, and it's about the best way we can continue to help with shipping internationally. We do everything we can. We eat a little bit of it on our end, but combining orders and also, if you've got some friends that are also backing, combining instead of having three people back individually and have to pay shipping three times, go in with your friends and get some extra copies, and then you'll be able to save a little bit on shipping even further.
exactly, and that's something we're always looking at ways to overcome kind of the pain of shipping, and but and these crowdfunders are really kind of the solution that we found so far is being able to get go in with a friend, do a bundle, especially if you're overseas. There's definitely ways that you guys can save the. So let's see, we did the GM screen, and then
So with
yes, the map pack. So
yes, so
this
they're
one's super
both
cool.
set for cosmic out in the far reaches of space. You can see that's the exact art there. It is. Let me double check so I don't tell you the wrong dimensions. It's the 30 by 24
It is.
double-sided laminated maps. They are uh, wet dry erase, or they're wet erase. So
Yeah,
I'm
both.
messing up the terms, but it says it in the text.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
they're both wet and
yeah.
dry erase. Yeah.
I for some reason I was thinking that it's like a square and a rectangle, or if it's one, it has to be the other.
The Venn overlaps.
It's been a long week for me, folks. I've been trying to cram 5 days of work into to 48 hours before I leave.
We really, yes, we've been at it for yeah, to make sure all there's so much goodness going on. We have so many projects coming down the is it down the pipe or down the pike? I don't know. Whatever
Down
that
the
idiom
pipe or
is,
tube.
right? We are flushing some things, and but yes, I mean, this one's super exciting just because there's so much legacy with Necessary Evil. We all love playing Necessary Evil. I'm in a campaign right now where I'm playing a Nokia brick phone. If you watched our earlier stream, we actually got to play the first game of that, and it was actually joyous playing a Nokia brick phone with superpowers. It was a ton of fun. So let's see. Oh, we're almost done. Oh no, we got some more. There's at least two more.
There's two
So
more. So there is the archetype cards. It's a set of 18 archetype cards with villains. They are in our. Where are you? No, that's not the one that's open. I'll grab my ETU ones. So they're the oversized cards, right? So you've got on the front side you've got your character art, you've got a little description name, the attributes and skills, and then on the flip side you've got your hindrances, your edges, any equipment, and then your superpowers as well. And for comparison, right? They're nice and big. You're not squinting trying to. It's the benefit of everybody's eyes at the company. Kind of, most people are in glasses or contacts over here, so we all make sure that we can actually read the text, and so the oversized cards are great for that. And so it's a set of 18.
look at Civil Savage showing up like you are a demon, sir. I speak your name or your campaign, and suddenly you pop into chat. Civil Savage is running the Necessary Evil campaign, and I'm playing a Nokia phone in. So, yeah. So yeah. So and also the list of people wondering if they're new or
Yes.
different. Like definitely new. Shane's favorite, Shark Man. So just make sure you
Yeah,
get that.
it's
But
6 of 2, 3, and 5. Oh yeah, that's we forgot to mention earlier the Cosmic Crisis. It's Cosmic Power Level, which is Power Level 5.
yeah, cranked all the way to 5.
And then last but definitely not least is the poster map. So the poster map is a little bit interesting. Um, you can get the PDF independently, but otherwise it only comes in the box set. There's with the thickness of the poster map and the way shipping works, it's very difficult to ship the 11 by 17 poster map by itself and not have it get ruined on the way. And so, just because typically speaking, you're going to want everything else that's in the box set if you want the print poster map. And of course, you can print for personal use. So if you need to run to Staples or something, right, and print out your digital version for your home game, remember to read. If you open up any of our PDFs in the a PDF reader, right, it won't work if you do it in a web browser like Chrome. There is a little sticky note, and it says the version number. When these are in the feedback period, it'll have the link to the feedback forms, as well as the note saying that you can print it for personal use. Yeah, one side is Star City, and then the other is the ship that you have in Cosmic Crisis.
Well, that is awesome. Them's all the add-ons, and so you guys are going to have fun with those. This is a great campaign. Definitely exceeded expectations. I think if we zoom back up, I think I might have to refresh, but definitely get in on if you want on the best shipping available, get on at least on the single book, which I think that's this tier, right? Let's see.
You're still in the add-ons. You got to scroll up a little bit more.
Oh, there we go. Very top. So yes, get in, book and print right here. Boom. Grab it, $30, book and print, and that'll allow you to do any of the upgrade from that to any of the physical tiers in the future and keep that awesome shipping price. And over 100 pages, great looking book, all new campaign, all new art in Cosmic Crisis, and then 90% plus new art in 1 and 2, which are Invasion and Breakout. And so if you want to escape from New York, or if you want to repel the Vistorian invasion, those would be some fun, great campaigns to really run your players to paces. And all the pawns and all the archetype cards, I think those make Super seems a little daunting from the outside, just like, oh, it's using a whole lot of rules. Having those the archetype cards just makes it super easy, even if you want to just kind of customize off of those cards. But we've put out so many supers archetypes by now. It's there's almost anything you can think of. Maybe not a Nokia brick phone, but close. There definitely are some constructs in that list. So
they're especially great for new players. Like when I did my playtest of my Doomguard adventure, I had some folks that were new to Savage Worlds in my playtest because I'm always cycling people through my group and giving them the archetype cards and letting them play their character off of that. And then some folks took the archetype card and modified it. It really is helpful, and especially if you're going to be at a convention, the archetype cards are great. It lets everybody hit the ground running, and they've already got the hindrances there, so that way you kind of have a little bit of a feature or a character trait to hang your hat on when you're role playing with a bunch of new people, and it's a great way to kind of break the ice and get people started.
Great. I think one last question from Kitsune. Does any 3 add any new high-level powers to the SPC rules, like stuff for time travel or other things that are only appropriate for higher power games?
So everything is driving off of the Superpowers companion. There are a couple of new hindrances and edgets and species. I'm forgetting the term. All in the book, but it still drives off of the Superpowers companion for powers.
Yep, 100% compatible. They were in design at the same time. Yep. So we have not gone, oops, we made a mistake, we need to fix it with this. No, but they were in production at the same time, and everything that came out with the SPC was play tested readily with all the Necessary Evil campaigns. So that's the nice thing. There isn't no surprises. There's just more content, more campaigns. And I think we need to invite you to the campaign now just to play this out. We need to have the Nokia brick versus the Razor. Because I owned both. Those are my first 2 cell phones. My first cell phone was the Nokia brick. Before that, I had like a pager of all things. and back in the actual cell, like the payphone days. See, Donald doesn't even remember the payphone days, and
I've used a payphone. I've never used a pager.
oh my God, there wasn't texting. There was how can we send our number to the pager so you only have like the 7 digits or 10 if they had 10-digit dialing, but that was even new. I mean, I remember before 10-digit dialing where you didn't have to dial the first three. You could just dial anyways. I mean, it's not quite as like the rural route dialing where it was like, Boston Street 524, but yes, right, the beeper days. So there's all beeper code, and no on a Nokia phone if you wanted to text like if you wanted to text like the letter O, you had to type 666 because that was the third letter on the letter O on the number six, and so it was like number dialing, and it was anyways, and you had to pay like $1 a piece for those, and right back in the day before the conglomeration. Had to get a little generator going so it sends the electricity down the line too because the lines weren't powered. So you had to like ring up and nice little lady on the end connected to you and then listened into your gossip, all that good stuff. Well, so folks, I promised Donald we were not going to go an hour. I was like, oh, we're going to go 20 minutes, and apparently we're almost an hour. We're not going to go the hour. One cool thing I do want to point you guys to. This is not a Pinnacle product, but there is a familiar name on this. So J.M. DeFoge, who wrote so you recognize him from Savage Universe. I'll be on Savage Universe this week on Thursday, which will be right before, I think, our closeout stream. So it'll be like Savage Universe, and then we're going to go right into the final hour Game Changer stream. And then on Friday, it'll be office hours with Jody. But J.M. DeFoge wrote the GM Screen Adventure, that awesome art that's got the certain punch with a certain character that Kitsune. Oh, we got cat tax.
This is a little tsunami monsoon.
There will be a warning. We'll do a final like this is shipping, folks, when that time comes. So we'll let you know. And yeah, for baby. So J.M. DeFoge, who wrote the GM Screen Adventure, his company Strange Owl Games has got a Kickstarter called Amboria, which is a system he created. I think it's been licensed out to Richard Rowland for this Amboria. It's started on Kickstarter today a couple hours ago, and it's already funded. It's almost 16,000. So I'm going to post a link to that if you want to check out JM's work because he is friend of the station. And so that's a link in the chat if you want to go check that out as well. But do get your supers in because this is not a supers product. So you're not going to scratch that itch with Amboria, but do show JM some love by checking out. It only went to. I gotta do all of them. So yes, the link will show up momentarily, so you can check out Amboria, and then the final link I'll put in there is for this campaign if you haven't been yet. So let me grab the fresh one there. But yes, head to peginc.com, click on the top banner, Necessary Evil Crisis. It ends on Thursday. It's like Thursday. I think it's 7 or 8. 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there, PM Eastern time. One caveat, because we didn't get this fixed on the Game Changer future fix. The countdown is to Eastern time. It's not localized to your time. So if it says that there's 7 hours left in the campaign, that's 7 hours left New York time, Eastern US, not your time zone, just in case. We'll probably be pretty generous and leave the pledges open for a little bit longer after that, because we'll be on the stream, whatever. But do get in your pledge before then, because afterwards it's all pre-orders and those prices are a little bit higher and not as luxurious. So let me make sure I click on all destinations. So if you haven't backed yet, get to back in. The link is now in all of your chats. Peginc.com campaign Necessary Evil 3 Cosmic Crisis. And I'm going to give Donald 4 minutes off the hour that I promised it wouldn't go, so he can get packing and have some great fun getting out of town and enjoying himself. So appreciate you guys joining the streams. Again, we'll be back on Thursday. Oh, and then tomorrow, Wednesday night, we're all going to be on the Donald won't. He'll be on a plane or sipping a margarita somewhere, whatever it is. A bunch of us, like Daryl, Brian, myself, and I think Mike Barbeau, someone. Anyways, there'll be at least 4 of us on the 150th show of Tabletop Tango. So if you want to catch that, check out our newsletter that is in your mailbox. It'll give you all the links for that, but it will also advertise it on the socials. But with that, cheers, folks. Back to campaign.
don't forget, at the bottom of the newsletter now, there is a little summary wrap up for all of the crowdfunding campaigns. So if you're ever wondering, like, oh, what's going on with that campaign? If you missed an update, if you've got, the your update emails going to junk, check that if you're not getting your updates. And you can also sign up for the newsletter. At the bottom, we post a update of what is going on with all of the campaigns to help keep you folks in the loop.
And it's called The Shape of Things to Come. It's got some Necessary Evil preview art on it. And this week, a bunch of them have been updated. So if last week and the week before, we're kind of saying this week, not true. So you'll see something is in the warehouse, something is a little delayed, other ones are on track. So check out the updates there. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on Tabletop Tango. Cheers, folks.